Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome back to our Wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam session. We are currently on seventh chapter. We are going to start the seventh chapter today of the first canto. Till now, we have covered the first six chapters, and in the last session, we were talking about this sixth chapter, where at the beginning of the sixth chapter, Vyasadeva asked few more questions. So Narad Muni in the fifth chapter has already explained his life story, that how he was a son of a maid servant, and then he received the mercy from the Bhaktivedantis who were traveling, and all of that. And then finally, the Bhaktivedantis have left. So Vyasadeva asked this question, that what did you do after the Bhaktivedantas, like all these devotees who were there for 4 or 5 months with you, after they departed from your village, what did you do? How did you spend your life after your initiation? And how did you attain this body, which is a celestial body? And actually, not even celestial, it is a transcendental body. And how do you remember past life? Like you're telling about this previous Kalpa story. This is a new Kalpa, different day of Brahma. How do you remember all of that? So that is where Narad Muni then continued his story. So he mentioned that how his mother was very affectionate and they had this Sneha Anubandha, the bond of love between them. And she was a maid servant. She wanted to maintain Narad Muni, like this boy, her child, very nicely. But because of she was still maid servant, she was not able to look after him that much. And once when she went for milking a cow at night, what happened was a snake bit her, and then she died. So Narada, like this small boy, took this as a special mercy of the Lord. He actually, even in this big calamity that happened in his life, his only support, which was there at just 5 years of age, that was gone, and still he was able to take it as a special mercy of the Lord. Why? Because he knew that the Lord always desires benediction. The Lord always thinks good about his devotees. So thinking that, he decided to follow his gurus, so who had traveled towards the north. So he also traveled in that direction. And then chapter 6 explained to us that how he traveled through various different villages, towns, cities, forests, and so on. And once, while he was traveling like this through a forest, he felt very thirsty and he was fatigued. And in that, he saw a small pond of water, and he took bath. He also drank the water, and then he sat under a pipala tree, and he started meditating on the Lord within the heart, as he learned from the devotees, from his gurus. And while he was concentrating and meditating on the Lord on the heart, within the heart, suddenly the Lord appeared on the lotus of his heart. And by seeing this darshan, getting this darshan, tears started rolling from his eyes. He felt very ecstatic and he felt very absorbed. And while he was taking this darshan, though, the Lord disappeared. And this boy was very, very now distressed that, oh, I was getting the vision, I was getting the darshan of the Lord, and suddenly the Lord has disappeared. So he was trying again and again the same process by which he got the darshan of the Lord, thinking that this mechanical process will give him the darshan. But seeing all his effort, Lord, out of his compassion, spoke to him. And he mentioned that in this lifetime now, you are not going to see me again. There is no more vision for you because of various reasons. For your process hasn't completed properly, you haven't get completely purified, and I have only shown you my vision, like my darshan, so that it can increase your desire to see me. So that is what the Lord mentioned to him. And then the Lord, he asked him to continue this process of bhakti, and then the Lord disappeared. And actually, the Lord had already disappeared, but now the voice also stopped. So then Narad, like this small boy, just traveled all around the world, all around the earth. He continued his sadhana, devotional service throughout the life, fully absorbed in Krishna, and with no material attachment. He was completely free from the material modes. And at the end, like in this, while he was fully absorbed in Krishna, he met with his death. And it was mentioned, if you remember, just like the lightning and the illumination happens simultaneously. Similarly, Narad, like this boy, small boy, in the previous life of Narada, he left his body, material body, and at the same time got the spiritual body. And then it was mentioned that at the end of the Kalpa, he entered the body of the Lord. And when Brahma started the new creation, he again appeared as the son of Brahma, as Narad Muni, and he became a liberated spaceman. And then he roams uh, around the universe. He sometimes in the material world, sometimes in the spiritual world, and he's always chanting the names of the Lord. And Narad Muni mentioned that as soon as he starts chanting the Supreme Lord's name, the Lord immediately gives him darshan in the heart. So, as if he is called for. So that is why he always glorifies the Lord, because he always wants to see the Lord. So that is why he always chants, and the Lord is always visible to him. And he concludes in the end of the 6th chapter that we saw, and we concluded based on what Narad Muni said, was that just a small change, if we do in our life, it can give us a big difference, big transformation. For example, if we change the subject matter of what we speak, then we will remove all the anxieties from our life. If we change the object of our service to the Lord, then it will bring satisfaction, and it will take us back to the spiritual world. So that is where we had completed the chapter 6, and we are now going to speak on chapter 7, which is called the Son of Droṇa Punished. It's a longer chapter. It has 58 verses. Today I need to actually finish early. I have to actually go somewhere. So we would be probably finishing around half of the chapter today, and the remaining half of the chapter we will see in the next session. Okay, let us begin. So 7th chapter, in this, in the first few verses, it is explained like how Vyasadeva starts meditating on the Supreme Lord as per the instruction that he received from Narada Muni. And then how he saw the vision of the Lord, and then how he rewrote Srimad Bhagavatam. And then after that is done, then he taught Srimad Bhagavatam to Shukadeva Goswami. And then this is where the first part of the question that the Shaunaka Rishi had asked some time ago in the fourth chapter, about tell us about Srimad Bhagavatam, how it appeared, what inspired Vyasadeva to write Srimad Bhagavatam. So now that section or that question was answered, Sutta Goswami then starts speaking on the next set of questions, which was about Parikshit Maharaj, that Shaunaka Rishi had asked, please tell us about his birth, his activities, his renunciation. So that pastime, then now Sutta Goswami starts explaining within this chapter after first few verses. And he explains how Aśvatthāmā kills the sons of the Pāṇḍavas. Then Arjuna became very angry, and he chases Aśvatthāmā. He arrests him, and then there are different opinions about how he should be punished. One, like Arjuna has a different opinion, Krishna has a different opinion, Bhima has a different opinion, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Nakul Sahadev, and Draupadi had a different opinion. So there are quite a lot of these arguments which are there in this chapter, and in the end, it is explained how finally Aśvatthāmā is punished, and that is how this chapter goes on. So let us begin with first verse. शौनक उवाच निर्गते नारदे सूत भगवान् बादरायणः श्रुतवांस्तदभिप्रेतं ततः किं करोद्विभू. Yes, Vikas Prabhu, please go.
Hare Krishna. Rishi Shaunaka asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendently powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So just like Vyasadeva asked Narad Muni at the beginning of chapter 6, that these devotees, Bhaktivedanta devotees, they had left. After they left, what did you do? So similarly, Shaunaka Rishi is asking Sutta Goswami that after Narad Muni left, what did Vyasadeva do? This is very important question. Like just in the 6th chapter as well, we discussed a little bit about this, that after receiving knowledge, what is important is acting on that knowledge. So receiving knowledge is just one part. But if we do not implement that knowledge into our day-to-day life, then that knowledge is hardly of any use. It is like bringing the medicine but not taking it. It is like buying a ticket for travel but not traveling. Similarly, the association of Narad Muni for Vyasadeva, as well as the association of devotees for that maidservant's child, is only of use if the instructions which are received by them, they implement in their life. And that is why Shaunaka Rishi is quite interested that what did Vyasadeva do? After Narad Muni had left, giving so many instructions to him, explaining to him what is the cause of his dissatisfaction. So what did he do after that? So he's very interested. And that actually gives inspiration. So that is why Shaunaka Rishi is asking for the benefit of all of us. And of course, the benefit of all those sages who are sitting, 80,000 or so sages sitting in front of Suta Goswami. That it is not only the knowledge which is important, jnana, but with jnana is important. How we implement that and how we realize it. So this question, we should always think about for ourselves as well. Whenever we receive instruction or whenever we listen to some sessions on Srimad Bhagavatam from, like there are so many Maharajas who come, there are so many wonderful devotees who travel and then give us their association. And then they mention so many wonderful realizations that they have had in their life. But what do we do after that? Otherwise, it will just remain spiritual entertainment. Some people watch TV, some people go to some sightseeing, they do some other thing for entertainment. Some people go for shopping, and some pious people, they hear Srimad Bhagavatam for their entertainment. So that should not be the case. It should not just remain as just a spiritual entertainment. After hearing, we should see what can I actually take from today's session into my life and then start implementing it. So just like Shaunaka Rishi is asking Suta Goswami, just like Vyasadeva asked Narad Muni, we should ask ourselves that, oh Ambarish Maharaj Das, what did you do after you have read this chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam? And this is what, if we actually ask each one of us, meditate on this question, such simple question. What did you do after they have left? But the meaning is, did you actually implement the instruction that you received in the session or in Srimad Bhagavatam? Only then our life will get transformed. So that is why this question is of utmost importance. And that is why this has been repeated. This question has come again and again. What has Narad Muni done that in his previous life, and what has Vyasadeva done after Narad Muni has left? Let us see what Vyasadeva has done. How Suta Goswami is answering that question. Suta uvacha Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam Ashramah Paschime Tate Shamya Prasa iti Prokta Rishinam Satravardhanaha. Srinivasa Mataji, I think you had raised your hand earlier, so you can read, and then Bhageshwari Mataji, you can do the next.
Sri Sutta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Samya Prasha, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages.
So thank you, Mataji. Suta Goswami is answering. He's saying on the western bank of river Saraswati, there is a cottage, there is an ashram for meditation at a place called Samya Prash. And this place is very enlivening for the activities of the sages. And Srila Prabhupada, his purport is very wonderful. Let us read the purport. Bhageshwari Mataji, you can read.
For spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere are definitely required. The place on the western bank of the Saraswati is especially suitable for this purpose, and there is the ashram of Vyasadeva at Samya Prasha. Srila Vyasadeva was a householder, yet his residential place is called an ashrama. An ashrama is a place where spiritual culture is always foremost. It doesn't matter whether the place belongs to a householder or a mendicant. The whole Varnashrama system is so designed that each and every status of life is called an ashrama. This means that spiritual culture is the common factor for all. The brahmacharis, the gruhasthas, the vanaprasthas, and the sannyasis all belong to the same mission of life, namely realization of the Supreme. Therefore, none of them are less important as far as spiritual culture is concerned. The difference is a matter of formality on the strength of renunciation. The sannyasis are held in high estimation on the strength of practical renunciation.
Thank you very much. So, it is mentioned that for spiritual advancement of knowledge, a suitable place and atmosphere is required. So that is how Srila Prabhupada starts it. And such a suitable place is called ashram. That in an ashram, we should be able to make spiritual progress. But then, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that this ashram is not only where some sadhus stay, or some sannyasis or some brahmacharis are staying. That is not the only ashram, like this is a brahmachari ashram, this is a sannyasi ashram. It is mentioned that all stages of our life, they are called ashramas. Brahmachari ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyasa ashram. Srila Vyasadeva is a householder himself. Yet, his residential place is called an ashram. So it is not that only the brahmacharis or the sannyasis where they are staying, that is an ashram. Even the grihasthas where they stay, that is also an ashram. In fact, it is mentioned that all stages of life, the purpose is same, which is the realization of the Supreme. So whether you are a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha or sannyasi, the purpose is exactly the same. And the idea is that we should always be focused on realization of the Supreme Lord. And the difference between all these ashram is just the strength of the renunciation that everyone has. If the grihastha, in the grihastha life as well, we should be focusing on this progress of spiritual life. If we are not focusing on the Supreme in the grihastha life, then it doesn't remain as grihastha ashram. Then we become grihamedhis. So we should all remember that as a devotee, even if we are in a grihastha life, our house should be an ashram where the focus should be realizing the Supreme Lord. Focus should be, we want to make progress in our Krishna consciousness. And if that purpose is not getting achieved, then we are not in grihastha ashram. So very important point which is mentioned here. So in the first verse, we saw that Shaunaka Rishi asked, what did Vyasa do after Narada's departure? And now in the second and third verse, we are seeing that how Vyasadeva sat for meditation at river Saraswati. Let us see what he saw. Tasmin swa ashrame Vyaso Badarish mandite Asinopa upasprushya Pranidadhyo manasvayam. Yes, Aparna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. I have a question as well. I can pack it if you want me to.
Yeah, I think today we will just take all the questions in the end because I have a little
No
less time
problem.
today.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. In that place, Srila Vyasadeva, in his own ashrama, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here we are seeing that how Vyasadeva, he has sat in his own ashram and which is surrounded by berry trees, it says. It must be very wonderful that there are lots of berry trees, various different kinds of berries. And he has sat down there and he's meditating on the Supreme Lord. Why is he doing like that? Because he received this instruction earlier. If we go back to the 5th chapter and 13th verse, whoever reaches there first, 1.5.13 can read the translation. 1.5.13. Uma Mataji, are you there already? 1513.
I raised my hand for the next sloka.
Oh,
Prabhuji.
next shloka. Okay, Sudhanma Prabhu, if you have found it.
O Vyasadeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in vow and situated in truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is what the instruction Vyasadeva had received from Narad Muni. It was mentioned by Narad Muni that you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance. So in meditation, you focus on the Supreme Lord, and then you can actually see all the pastimes, and then you can write all those pastimes in the scripture. And that is how Srimad Bhagavatam will come. So that is why now Vyasadeva is implementing that instruction that he received. He has purified himself by touching the water, and then he is sitting there and now meditating on the Lord. So let us see what he is going to see in this meditation. But before that, some practical points about ashrama that we have already discussed. That Grihastha ashram is also, in Grihastha ashram, house of a householder should also be an ashram. And what is an ashram? It is a place where spiritual culture is almost foremost. That the focus of an ashram is how I can go close to Lord Shri Krishna. All ashramas are like that. So in Grihastha ashram as well, our house should be arranged in such a way that we can see how everyone in the house is going closer and closer to the Supreme Lord. And it does not matter whether the place belongs to a householder or a sannyasi, or brahmachari or a vanaprastha. So the ashram means always going towards closer to Lord Shri Krishna. Okay, let us see. Now, what was his vision? Now he is meditating. Srila Vyasadeva is not an ordinary person. He is going to see something very wonderful. Fourth verse. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it in linking to the devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, without any time of materialism, and thus
Any tinge of materialism.
any tinge of materialism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So he fixed his mind in Bhakti Yoga. And in that trance, he saw the Supreme Lord, and it is said, Purusham Purnam. He saw the Supreme Lord incomplete. That it was not like a partially he saw it. He saw that the Supreme Lord, so the Bhagavan realization that he got, plus he also saw Maya. So he saw the Lord and he saw the Maya. But there was an important thing that was mentioned. He saw the Maya, which was under full control of the Supreme Lord. So Srila Prabhupada has written a long and very wonderful purport. So he says that devotional service is the only way to achieve the perfect vision of the absolute truth. So you can get realization of Brahman, you can get realization of Paramatma, but only through devotional service you can get the realization of Bhagwan, which is the complete realization of the absolute truth. Through other processes, you can only get some partial realization of the absolute truth. And the Supreme Lord, he has unlimited potencies, energies. And there are three energies which are mentioned here in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. There is an internal energy, there is a marginal energy, and then there is external energy. So the energy mentioned here in this verse, in the translation, is the external energy. Maya is an external energy. So the internal energy is like the moonlight, whereas the external energy is like darkness. Srila Prabhupada used this analogy to differentiate between them. And the marginal energy is us. We are the Tatastha Shakti. So on one side there is Krishna, Another side, there is Maya, and we are sitting on the boundary. Sometimes we get influenced and we are part of the, like we become influenced by the internal energy, and sometimes we become influenced by the external energy. Most of the time, we are influenced by this external energy, which is Maya. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that how internal energy is different from this external energy. So this internal energy is also sometimes called Maya, but it is Yoga Maya. It is a spiritual Maya. And the shelter, if we take the shelter of the internal energy, then it dissipates the darkness. It removes the darkness of ignorance within us. And even the self-realized people take shelter of this internal energy. The bhakti process is also part of the internal energy of the Lord. And the ananda, or the happiness that we derived from the internal energy, is much greater than even the ananda that we can get in Brahman. So many things Srila Prabhupada is mentioning so that we can get attracted towards the internal energy instead of external energy that we are associated with. So Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that how Vyasadeva has seen the external energy which was in full control, but at the same time he's explaining to us about the internal energy that we should get removed from this entanglement from the external energy and get entangled, or in a way absorbed in the internal energy. And how Jiva is entangled is explained in the next verse, because that is also what Vyasadeva is seeing in his vision. So he has seen the Supreme Lord, he has seen Maya, which is under the full control. Now in the next verse, he is also seeing the Jivas getting entangled with this external energy. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam triguణātmakam paropi manute nartham tatkritam chabipadyate. Yes, Rajiv Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the Jiva is getting influenced by the three modes of material nature and thinks himself as a material product. So Jiva is spiritual. Like all of us, Atmas, we are spiritual. But by coming in contact and by getting influenced by the material nature, we are thinking that we are material product, that we are this body, we are not spirit. So this is what we are thinking. And thus we undergo the reactions of the material miseries. So we are not the body, but why we are thinking that we are body? So it is like that we are in a dream state, like when we are sleeping and we are into this dream, which is very vivid sometimes. And whatever is happening in the dream, we are thinking that we are already there in that situation. And then if sometimes we are lost somewhere in an unknown place and we are running around looking for someone that we know of, or our home back, and we are running around and we are very, very frightened in the dream, or some lion is chasing, tiger is chasing. And then when we wake up, we find out that, oh, there was no tiger, there was no lion, and we were not lost. I am at my own home on my own bed. So when we wake up, we understand that all of that we experienced, which was seeming that it was very real when we were going through it, it was only because we got absorbed into that role within that dream, that we thought that we are in a jungle and we are going around. And that is why the lion chasing became very, very real for us. And that is when we are thinking that we are lost somewhere, and that is why that fear came, and that became quite real for us. But when we wake up, suddenly we realize that, oh, everything was not real. Something similar happens like here as well. We are spirit soul, But under the influence of the three modes, we think that we are this body. And because of that, then everything seems very real to us around us. All these experiences that we are having, that we are thinking that we are real, that they are all real. And then we go through this happiness and suffering because of thinking that we are this body. But as soon as we wake up from this sleep, we realize that we are not this body, but we are spirit soul, then all of this suffering will go away. So this is the process. And Srila Prabhupada starts this purport. He says that the root cause of suffering by the materialistic living being is pointed out in this verse. Actually, in this verse, there are three things which are mentioned. The root cause of our suffering that is pointed out with remedial measures. So it also mentions what are the remedial measures to come out of the problem that we are in, which are to be undertaken, and also the ultimate perfection to be gained. So where we are suffering. What is the goal? We want to actually have the ultimate perfection. And the remedy to go from here to here, all of that is mentioned in this verse. So we are suffering because we are thinking we are this body, we are in this material world, and we are influenced by the three modes. Our goal is to go back to the Supreme Lord, and the process is process of bhakti, actually hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And this remedy is explained more nicely into the next verse. But Srila Prabhupada actually is mentioning very nice analogies in this purport, that why we are actually here and why Krishna is allowing us to remain in this material world. So he gives that analogy that how an affectionate father does not like his children to be chastised, but by another person, but still he sometimes put his disobedient children under the custody of a strict person, a severe person, so that the disobedient child can be brought back into order. So similarly, Lord is very loving father, but we have become disobedient. So that is why he has given our charge to Maya, who's like that strict teacher. She punishes when we make mistake. She rewards when we do something good. So she is a very strict teacher. So the Lord has given our custody to Maya so that we can come back to order. But the teacher is only trying to actually correct. But the Supreme Lord, it is not only leaving us into Maya's custody. It is mentioned here, like in the same section, there is another analogy of the king is given. So sometimes the king puts the disobedient citizens into a jail. But sometimes the king himself comes to the jail and explains to everyone that, see, you are in a jail. But outside the jail, there is a wonderful life that is awaiting you. So please get transformed. And if you're ready to transform, I'm able to actually take you out of this jail. Similarly, the Supreme Lord also descends. So not only he has given us to Maya for reforming, and she's doing her job, but he also sometimes comes to this material world, and then he tries to attract us towards him. So there is this two-way formula that the Lord is utilizing. One, Maya is trying to transform us through her Trishul. She has this trident, and she's kicking us from the back. But when she's kicking us from the back, we are getting pushed towards the Supreme Lord. And the second way is the Lord comes, shows wonderful pastimes, and attracts us, which is like a pull. So Maya is pushing us towards Krishna, and Krishna is pulling us towards him. But the purpose is both of them is same, that we should go towards Krishna and get transformed, and then develop the love, the original love that we had, and go back to our original home, which is this spiritual world. These two verses that we have just discussed, fourth and fifth, also actually shows the contrast between the Lord and the Jiva. In the 4th verse, it was said that Maya was under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Whereas in the 5th verse, it is mentioned that the Jiva was under the full control of Maya. So the Lord is controlling Maya, but Maya is controlling Jiva. So sometimes some people say that we are also Lord, like we are Krishna, I am Krishna, you are Krishna, everyone is Krishna. And as soon as we actually remove this material covering that we have, we will become self-realized, liberated, and we will become God ourselves. So we can see from just these 2 verses that Vyasadeva's vision of the Supreme Lord, Maya and Jiva, we can see that it is not true. If we were the Supreme Lord, we would have been actually controlling the Maya, but here we are getting controlled by Maya. So that means we are not the Supreme Lord. We are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and we are servant of the Supreme Lord. But we were never the Supreme Lord. We are not the Supreme Lord, and we will never become Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord remains supreme all the time, and he always remains under control, like he is in control of Maya, and he never comes under control of Maya. Whereas we come under control of Maya, we are part and parcel. We are a small, tiny part of the Supreme Lord. We are Anu, like very minute, whereas the Supreme Lord is Vibhu, he is infinite. So that is the main difference that we can see from these 2 verses. Okay, let us move on. 6th verse, very wonderful verse. We will recite this. Anarthopashamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya ajanato vidvam chakre satvat samhitam. Vidhi Mataji, you want to recite?
अनर्थोपशमं साक्षात् भक्तियोगमधोक्षजे लोकस्य जानतो विद्वांस चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम्. Hare Krishna.
Nice, very nice. So, okay, let us read the translation as well. Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superficious to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So people in this world are suffering under that influence of Maya and getting entangled in the 3 modes of material nature. We are suffering from the 3-fold miseries. So people are suffering in the material world. Material world is called Dukkhalayama Aśvatthāmā. So this is a place where people are suffering. But interestingly, this suffering can be mitigated by the process of Bhakti Yoga. Anartho pashamam sakshat Bhakti Yogam adhokshaje. So we can come out of all of this suffering by doing Bhakti Yoga to adhokshaje, to the Supreme Lord. But the problem is lokasya ajanato. The people do not know this simple truth that we are suffering and we can come out of the suffering by following the process of Bhakti Yoga. Because we do not know this, out of mercy, Vyasadeva has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, Chakre Satvata Samhita. So therefore, Vyasadeva has compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is Vyasadeva's mercy and compassion. He saw in his vision that these people in this material world are suffering. And if they follow the process of Bhakti Yoga, and that Bhakti can start with the process of hearing, which he's going to say in the next verse. And that is why he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, which is mainly focused on the Supreme Lord, Krishna Katha. So various different pastimes, Tattva and Leela, both are explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he saw perfectly in his vision the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Srila Prabhupada mentioned is this? Yeah. He saw, therefore, his different energies. Oh, from beginning. Okay. He's saying, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying, Srila Vyasadeva saw the all-perfect personality of Godhead. This statement suggests that the complete unit of the personality of Godhead includes his parts and parcels also. He saw, therefore, his different energies, namely the internal energy, marginal energy, and the external energy. He also saw his different plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions, namely his different incarnations also, and he specifically observed the unwanted miseries of the conditioned souls who are bewildered by the external energy. So when it is mentioned that he saw the Supreme Lord, Lord Shri Krishna, Bhagavan, so it is not that he only saw Krishna and his pastimes. When he saw Krishna, he saw all his incarnations and all the pastimes of his incarnations. He saw his internal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. He also saw the process of Bhakti Yoga. So everything was included in his vision. He saw it perfectly. He saw the complete vision of the Supreme Lord. So that is why this Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. The Srimad Bhagavatam, just by reading, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and meditating on Lord's pastime, can remove all our miseries. But we do not know. As soon as we know, we should just start reading and meditating on the Supreme Lord. So how we can make progress? That is mentioned in the next verse. Another beautiful verse. We will recite this as well. Yasyam Vaishruyamāṇāyām Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpatyate Pumsam Shokamoha Bhayapaha. Mantramulam Prabhu, you want to recite?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yasyam Vaishruyamāṇāyam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsa Shokamoha Bhayapaha.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. You want to read as well?
Yes, Prabhuji. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, Yasya Vaishruyamāṇāyām Krishne Paramapurushe. So, it is mentioned just by hearing Shruyamāṇāyām. So, just by hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti sprouts in the heart. Bhaktir Utpatyate. Pumsam, like in everyone, in general. In everyone, just by giving the oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam, to Krishna Katha, what will happen is Bhakti will sprout in the heart. And when Bhakti sprouts in the heart, what will happen? Shoka, Moha, Bhaya, Apaha. Like all of this, Shoka, Moha, and Bhaya will go. So this is the extraordinary power of Srimad Bhagavatam. Extraordinary power of the process of Bhakti. That just by starting the Shravanam, Bhakti, one of the process of the 9 process of devotional service, one is Shravanam. So just by starting the Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Shoka Moha Bhaya is going to go away. Now, what is Shoka? Shoka is lamentation. Lamentation generally happens of all our past mistakes that we have done. So, in the past, whatever activities that we have done, we are thinking, I should have done like this. I should have done like this, and I shouldn't have done like this. So all of these things will come into our mind. So Shoka. So of the past, we are lamenting. Moha is illusion. In the present, we are illusioned. So when we are talking about the past and we are saying that I should have done like this, I shouldn't have done like this. But when in the present, when we are taking action, we are illusioned and we still take the wrong actions. We still keep thinking that we are the master. We are still thinking that we are the body. And that is how we will keep doing the activities by which we will get entangled in the 3 modes of material nature. And that is why we are in moha, illusion in the present. And bhaya is generally about the activities which are going to come in the future. And we do not know the future. That is why we are fearful. We are always thinking, what will happen? What will happen afterwards? What will happen afterwards? And because of that, there is fear. But once we actually start understanding that Krishna is my protector, then the bhaya will go away. Then we don't think that what is going to happen in future. Just like this small boy, he understood perfectly that even his mother has passed away, but Krishna is going to take care of me. So he did not have any fear. He was just going around, going on, even through the forest, without worrying about who is going to take care of him. So there was no bhaya that he had. If you know Krishna is your protector, he is going to take care of you no matter what, then there will be no bhaya. What is there to do shoka? Krishna says that sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. There as well he says ma shucha, do not fear. And aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Whatever activities you have done in the past, there is no point in thinking about and doing lamentation. You can't change them anyway. You can only do something in the present. And Krishna says that if you, in the present, you surrender unto me, then do not worry about your past. I will remove all those reactions for you. So there is shoka goes away, moha goes away because you have surrendered to Krishna, and fear goes away because you know Krishna is going to protect us. Srila Prabhupada actually gives very wonderful points in the first few lines of his purport. He says that there are various senses, of which the ear is the most effective. Shruyamanayam, right? So hearing process. But why ear is most effective? This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. So when we are awake, we can use our hands, we can use our legs to protect ourselves. But when we are sleeping, none of these are active. None of our knowledge acquiring senses are also very active. But our ears are always active. That is why when we want to wake up, we use our ear for hearing the alarm bell, and then we wake up. So similarly, ears can protect us. So ear can protect us by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. If you hear something mundane, then it will entangle us. But if we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then it will make progress. So hearing can be utilized for highest perfection of life and getting freedom from the material pangs. Material problems can be removed. Shoka moha bhayapaha. So this is the medicine given by Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva, actually these few verses that we saw in his meditation and then in the 6 and 7. So Vyasadeva is acting like a very perfect physician. So he saw the jivas, they were entangled in Maya. So that was our current situation. He also saw the Supreme Lord in his vision, and he understood that from this situation, I have to actually take these people from here, from the Maya, to the internal energy of the Supreme Lord, to the spiritual world. So after understanding the current situation of the patient, after understanding where the patient wants to go in the healthy situation, he decided that what is the right remedy for this. And that medicine is Bhakti Yoga to Lord Shri Krishna. And that is why he is suggesting that we should all give oral reception. We should hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and that is how we will make progress and we will cure our material disease. Let us move ahead. After this, now what happened? So he has seen the vision. So what did he do after that? So that is what we are going to see in the next few verses. Sasahitam bhagavatim krutvanukrumya chatmajam shukam adhyapayamasa nivritti niratam munihi. Yes, Adi Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry, I joined a little late today. Would you please point me to which verse? I have it online open and side.
1.8.7 Mataji.
1.8.
Sorry, 1.8.8. Sorry, what I'm saying. 7th chapter, 8th verse.
7th chapter. So, okay, 1.7.8. Okay. Son of Droṇa Punished.
That's correct.
1.7.8. Okay. Sāsamitam Bhagavatim.
Oh, Mataji, just translation.
Oh, sorry. The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukadev Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Srimad Bhagavatam was already compiled. What it says is, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it. So, Srimad Bhagavatam was already written. The 18 Puranas were already written by Vyasadeva previously. But now he has received the instruction from Narad Muni that he has to mainly focus on Lord Shri Krishna and the process of bhakti. So after in his meditation, he has seen all this vision, he revised Srimad Bhagavatam to mainly focus on Lord Shri Krishna and his pastimes and the process of bhakti. And after he has rewritten it, then he has taught it to Shukadeva Goswami. Next verse. Let us read just the translations going forward. Who's next?
Prabhu, can I read?
Yes, Mataji. 9th verse.
Shaunaka Uvacha. Oh,
Translation.
Shri Shaunaka asked Sut Goswami, Shri Sukadeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Krishna. Now, Shaunaka Rishi is very attentive. He heard it very, very, very attentively. That's why he was able to ask this question. Now, just in the previous verses, it was mentioned that how the jiva is entangled in the material world and in the three modes, and then how Vyasadeva has given this medicine of Bhakti Yoga, and then he has written the Srimad Bhagavatam so that it can focus on it, so that the entangled jiva can come out of the entanglement and from the shoka, moha, and bhaya. Shaunaka Rishi caught that point. And he is asking that Shukadeva Goswami is not entangled. Shukadeva Goswami is already on the path of self-realization. He was already indifferent to everything. He is beyond the three modes. Goodness, passion, ignorance is not touching him. And for him, there is no shoka, no bhaya, no moha. Then why was he interested in Srimad Bhagavatam? If Srimad Bhagavatam, by reading that, people can come out of shoka, moha, bhaya, and it is mainly for those people who are entangled in the three modes, then why Shukadeva Goswami, who is already liberated, why is he interested? Why has he taken the trouble to study such a vast literature? Actually, this question was already answered by in previously in the last verse of 5th chapter. If you want to, if someone reach 1.5.40, 1.540 translation, Vidhi Mataji.
Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Here it is already mentioned, the answer for the question that Shaunaka Rishi is asking. That Srimad Bhagavatam is not only for those people who are entangled in this material world. It is not only for the common people. It is also for the learned people. So Srimad Bhagavatam is for everyone. Those who are new and those who are already advanced. Srimad Bhagavatam is for all these varieties of people and anyone who's in between. Very, very new, they don't know anything about Krishna consciousness, they can read Srimad Bhagavatam. They are already suffering from the material pangs. But those who are not suffering, they are above these material modes. For those learned people as well, Srimad Bhagavatam is great. For that will satisfy the hankering. These people will have hankering for understanding the Supreme Lord and be part of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So they can actually also read Srimad Bhagavatam. So the same answer now Sutta Goswami is going to give them again. So, and specifically in the case of why Shukadeva Goswami was interested. So that he mentions, it's a very famous verse, 1.7.10. Atma Ramascha Munayo, sorry, Sutta Uvacha, Atma Ramascha Munayo, Nirgantha Urukrame, Kurvantya Ahaitukim Bhaktim, Ittam Bhuta Guno Harihi. Who wants to recite? Surananda Prabhu, you want to try?
Yes, Prabhu. Sutta Uvacha, Atma Ramascha Munayo, Nirganta Apya Urukrame, Kurvantya Ahaitukim Bhaktim, Ittam Bhuta Guno Harihi.
Very nice. Okay. Translation as well, Prabhu.
Translation. All different varieties of Atma Ramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So all kind of Atma Ramas, those who are on the path of self-realization, those who are interested in Atma, all of these people will also get attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam, where the glories and the various different qualities, different pastimes of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna are mentioned. Why? Because Lord and his qualities and his pastimes are all transcendental. And therefore, they can attract attract everyone, including the liberated souls. So the liberated souls are above the three modes, but the Supreme Lord and his pastimes, his qualities are also above three modes. So they are also spiritual. So that is why even the Atma Ramas will get attracted to these transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. And that is exactly what Vyasadeva did when he wanted to attract Shukadeva Goswami. He was, when he was born, he was already 16 years old. So Shukadeva Goswami did not actually get born like a small child and then he grew. When he was born, he was 16 years old. And as soon as he was born, he left the house. He said that I don't want to get entangled. I just want to go. And he came out of the womb and he just started walking. He didn't want to get involved in anything. So, and Vyasadeva was running behind him. And then we saw that pastime earlier where the girls were bathing and they did not cover themselves when Shukadeva Goswami was passing, but they covered themselves when Vyasadeva was passing from there. So that happened at that time. But then Shukadeva Goswami kept walking without turning back. And Vyasadeva wanted him to come back and learn Srimad Bhagavatam. So he used this trick. What he did, he asked his disciples to recite some selected verses of Srimad Bhagavatam in the forest. Go everywhere and just recite these verses. And the same thing happened that when Shukadeva Goswami heard some of the wonderful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam about glorifying the Lord and his pastimes, he became attracted. And then he asked his disciple that, hey, this is so wonderful. I want to learn. He said, okay, come. And then he brought back Shukadeva Goswami to Vyasadeva, and then Vyasadeva taught Srimad Bhagavatam to this boy, his son, Shukadeva Goswami. So this verse is very famous because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also explained this verse to Sanatana Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila chapter 24. The entire chapter 24 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila is on this one verse, and it's not a small chapter, it is quite big chapter. And in that chapter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this verse giving 61 different meanings. It's beyond my capacity to understand all of that. But before even explaining the meaning of the entire verse, 61 different meanings, he explains each different word in this verse. And Srila Prabhupada has given an overview of that entire chapter in this purport. So there are 11 factors in this verse, like Atmaram, Munayaha, Nirgrantha, Api, Cha, Urukrama, Kurvanti, Ahaitukim, Bhaktim, Ittam Bhuta Guna, and Hari. Now each of these words have different meanings. And just as an example, the word Munaya refers to those who are thoughtful, those who are grave and silent, ascetic, the persistent, mendicants, sages, and saints, like 7 meanings. Similarly, Atma Rama has 7 meanings. Nirgrantha has 4 meanings. And Ni has 4 meanings. So many different meanings which are there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains to Sanatana Goswami all these meanings of all these 11 words. And then he explains to him that because every word has like so many different meanings, there are 61 different meanings can come out of this particular verse. And he explains that to Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami was quite keenly hearing and listening. Actually, he himself asked this question to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that I have heard in the past, you have explained one verse, like this particular verse, to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in 18 different ways. So I am very interested in hearing those 18 meanings. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so merciful. He said that, okay, what 18? I will give you 61. And he gave him 61 different meanings of this verse. But for our purpose, this one meaning is enough. So which is this, all Atmaramas are interested. All these self-realized people are interested in hearing Krishna Katha, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, is because it is explaining the qualities of the Supreme Lord, which are so wonderful, so transcendental, and that can even attract these liberated people. Okay, so let us move on. Okay, 11th verse. Translation only. Who wants to read translation for 11th? Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
Adidevi Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Srila Sukadeva Goswami, son of Srila Vyasadeva, was not only transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you, Mataji. So Shukadeva Goswami was transcendentally powerful. So transcendentally powerful means he was already beyond the 3 modes, and he was already self-realized. He was already detached from all the material things, and that is why he was already liked by the people who were Brahmavadis. But not only that, he was liked by those people, he was also very dear to devotees of the Lord. And the verse says, Vishnu Janapriya. Nityam Vishnu Janapriya. So Vishnu Jana means the devotees of the Lord Vishnu. And Priya means he was very dear to these devotees. And thus he studied Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami studied Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that all of this happened because of the powerful association of pure devotees like Vyasadeva. So even if some Brahmavadi comes in contact with some powerful devotees of the Supreme Lord, then they can also become devotees of the Supreme Lord. So that is the power of association of pure devotees. So this is where now this section of how Srimad Bhagavatam was written, how Vyasadeva was inspired, what is the history of Srimad Bhagavatam, all of those questions which were asked, they are explained by Sutta Goswami, and he is completing that one topic. So, and then he's going to start another topic. But we will just get some nectar from these verses, that hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is such an important activity. Why? Because it gives bhakti and it removes the suffering. It also removes the lamentation, illusion, and fear. Shoka Maya or Shoka Moha and Bhaya is also going. And even the self-realized transcendentalists are also attracted to Srimad Bhagavatam. So not only it gives bhakti, which removes the suffering, it removes Shoka Moha Bhaya, it is also very dear to the self-realized people, and they are also attracted. So we should all also take this opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and make progress in our spiritual life. We should not be left behind. We should not be thinking that, oh, we will see in future or whatever. No, even the self-realized transcendentalists, they are also attracted towards it. Even if we are not attracted immediately to Srimad Bhagavatam, we should take the effort for Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then that will make ourselves progressed. Like we can progress in our spiritual life by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Now we are going to actually start this next section from 12th verse onwards. So here now Sutta Goswami has completed that one topic, history of Srimad Bhagavatam, when it was spoken, where it was spoken, why it was spoken, and by whose inspiration did Vyasadeva compile Srimad Bhagavatam. These were some of the questions which were asked, and they were answered till now. Now Sutta Goswami is going to answer the question which were asked in 4th chapter, 9th and 11th verse, from 9th and 11th, where Sutta Goswami was asked by Shaunaka Rishi that, tell me about Maharaj, tell us about Maharaj Parikshit. Tell us about his birth, his activities, his renunciation, all of that they wanted to know. So hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam, they want to know. And this question is going to be answered from this next verse, 1.7.12, and it goes till the end of the first canto. And while answering this question, he also going to answer the third question, which was about Shukadeva Goswami, which was how did Hastinapur citizens recognize him, and how did his meeting with Parikshit takes place. In the 18th and 19th chapter, he will also answer that. So this is where we get into now this story. Story means it's a historical story. So he is moving us into this end of Mahabharata war. Like most of the warriors have been killed at the end of the Mahabharata war. 99 sons of Dhritarashtra have already been killed. Duryodhan has been defeated and his thighs are broken and he is on his deathbed. And at that point in time, this pastime is now happening. So let us start reading from verse number 12 and 13, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Someone can read, yeah, Vidhi Mataji, you can read 12th, and Mantramulam Prabhu, 13, 14 translation you can read.
Sutta Goswami thus addressed the rishis headed by Shaunaka. Now I shall begin the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of the birth, activities, and deliverance of King Parikshit, the sage amongst the kings. as well as topics of the renunciation of the worldly order by the sons of Pandava. Hare Krishna.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay. When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kauravas and Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and dead warriors obtained their deserved destinations, and when the son of Dhritarashtra fell down lamenting, his spine broken, being beaten by the club of Bhimasena, the son of Dronacharya, Aśvatthāmā, beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered the heads as prize to his master, foolishly thinking that he would be pleased. Duryodhana, however, disapproved of heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. Thank you.
Thank you. So Duryodhana is on his deathbed. He's almost going to die. And at that point in time, he appoints Aśvatthāmā as the commander of his army. Whatever remaining warriors were there, the son of Drona. So in the verse, he is called as Droni. Droni means son of Drona. He was a Brahmana, like a son of a Brahmana, but it didn't have the qualities of a Brahmana. And we will see why in the remaining section. Now, he wanted to kill Pandavas. Aśvatthāmā, he was envious of the Pandavas, and he wanted to kill those 5 brothers, Pandavas. But he knew that he cannot defeat them. So he decided to kill them at the night time when they were sleeping. But by mistake, he kills the 5 sons of the 5 Pandavas from Draupadī. And in the night, he just took their heads, he beheaded them in the sleep, took their heads and brought it to Duryodhana, saying that, see, I have actually killed Pandavas. But Duryodhana just touched the heads of these, the 5 heads, and he immediately understood that these are not Pandavas, but they are sons of the Pandavas. And he was very unhappy with Aśvatthāmā. He did not want like the sons of the Pandavas being killed like this, and also not on the battlefield, but while they were sleeping. Even if he would have killed Pandavas like this, he would be very unhappy, because he wasn't interested in the killing like this. Maybe like all the other things that he had done in the past, but now he was on the battlefield, he was fighting properly. So Duryodhana, throughout the battle, he continued fighting properly. Some mistakes here and there, but otherwise he was following all the rules and regulations, and he was continuing like that. So for him, he did not want to be known in the future that he was not able to win. So he just attacked when people were sleeping, and even the small children, he did not show mercy and just killed them. So he was very displeased with Aśvatthāmā's activity. So Aśvatthāmā thought that he was going to please Duryodhana, but it was the completely opposite. So Aśvatthāmā was like this. He was born as a son of a Brahmana, did not develop the quality of a Brahmana. He was around so many Kshatriyas. His friends were all Kshatriyas. All these Kauravas, the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra, they were his friends. But he did not develop the quality of Kshatriyas as well. So he was not a good Brahmana, he was not a good Kshatriya as well. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done such a heinous act. And he was not even able to please his master, who was Duryodhana. So let us see what happened after that. Pāṇḍavas Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Draupadi, the mother of 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing the massacre of her sons, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears. Trying to pacify her in her great loss, Arjuna spoke to her thus. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, read the next one as well.
O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana, after beheading him with arrows from my Gandhi bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath stand on his head.
Yeah, so
Standing on his head.
yeah. So Draupadi had only 5 sons, and all were killed like this while they were sleeping. So obviously, so she started crying in distress. And seeing her crying, Arjuna tried to pacify her. He said that I'll wipe your tears after killing and beheading Aśvatthāmā. So after he is killed and his head is removed, just like he has killed our 5 sons. So after that, only then we can burn the sons' bodies, and then you can stand on the head of Aśvatthāmā, and then only you take bath. And in this verse, you can see in the Sanskrit, Aśvatthāmā is called as Brahma Bandho. So he's not called a Brahmana. He's called a friend of a Brahmana, Brahma Bandho. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that he is also called an aggressor, Atatayinaha. So just like in Bhagavad Gita as well, he had mentioned the 2nd chapter that who is an Atatayi. So here as well, Srila Prabhupada mentions that who is an Atatayina. So an enemy who sets fire to the house, administers poison, attacks all of a sudden with deadly weapons, plunders wealth, and usurps agriculture fields, entices one's wife, is called an aggressor. So here we can see that Aśvatthāmā has done attack all of a sudden with deadly weapons. Without giving a warning, he has attacked. So in the sleep, he has done that. Even if he would have fought on the battlefield with the 5 sons of Pāṇḍava and killed them, Pandavas would have been okay, because that is what is going to happen on the battlefield. Someone is going to win, someone is going to lose, and someone is going to lose their life as well. But on the battlefield, they do not actually kill them without warning. They will first say that, here, I am here. They will blow the conch and whatever, attract the attention of the other warrior, and only then they will start fighting, giving them a warning. So that is how the war goes on. But here, it is saying that Atatayina is one who attacks all of a sudden with a deadly weapon. And that is what Aśvatthāmā had done. Actually, a Brahmana cannot be killed. But it is said that Brahmana cannot be killed, but if he is an Atatayina, then he can be killed. Because he is not behaving as a Brahmana. Because a Brahmana wouldn't do any of these activities. So he is acting like a butcher here. So if he's acting like a butcher, then he should be treated like a butcher, not like a Brahmana. So that is why, even though the Brahmanas cannot be killed, Aśvatthāmā can be killed because he's not a Brahmana, he's a Brahma Bandho. He's an unqualified person who has born in the Brahmana family, Brahma Bandho. So that is what is mentioned here. So we can see where is my mouse gone? So we have seen these verses. Now we are going to the next part, 17th. Yes, Uma Mataji, please go ahead.
Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as friend and driver, thus satisfied the dear lady by such statements. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Aśvatthāmā, the son of his martial teacher. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Arjuna satisfied Draupadi by his vow that I am going to chase him, I am going to kill him, I am going to arrest him and kill him, and then I'll bring his head to you. So that is the vow that he took. And then he sat on his chariot, which is, of course, he is guided by Lord Shri Krishna, as who is his friend as well as his charioteer. He equipped himself with an armor, and he took all his furious, like various different powerful weapons that he had. And then he sat on his celestial chariot, and then he started chasing Aśvatthāmā. What happened after that? 18th verse. Yes, Maminder, no.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aśvatthāmā, the murderer of the princess, is seeing from the great distance Arjuna coming at him with great speed, fled in his chariot, panic-stricken, just to save his life, as Brahma fled in fear from Shiva.
So Aśvatthāmā saw that Arjuna is coming towards him at great speed. So looking at Arjuna coming him, he was frightened, he was fearful, and he fled in his own chariot. So ideally, now he is a commander of the army appointed by Duryodhana. If Arjuna is coming, he should get ready to fight with Arjuna. But he is not doing like that. As soon as he sees Arjuna coming, he is fleeing like a very fearful person, and he is running away for his life. And it is mentioned just like Brahma fled in fear from Shiva. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives a story about that. We'll not get into it. But here we can see that Aśvatthāmā is a Brahmana or born in a Brahmana family. So ideally, he should not be fearful. Why? Because Brahmana has the knowledge. He has the knowledge of the soul and the Supreme Lord. So because they know that they are not this body, but they are spirit soul, they never shy away from doing their duty. Even if that means they have to give up their body for it. So Aśvatthāmā, even though he was a Brahmana, he did not have that knowledge. And he did not have the faith in the protection of the Supreme Lord. So he was very fearful. Okay, was he a Kshatriya? No, because he was not even acting like a good Kshatriya. When in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, like when we were looking at the qualities of Kshatriya, one of the quality was Yuddhecha Apalayanam. That when the Kshatriyas are fighting on the battlefield, they will never show their back to the enemy. They will never run away. Even if that means that they are going to die. Because they have courage. So Brahmana have knowledge and Kshatriya have courage. And because of this, they are never fearful. Kshatriya is not fearful because of his courage, and Brahmana is not fearful because of his knowledge. But here we can see that Aśvatthāmā is not even showing courage or not showing knowledge. Hence, he is called a Brahma Bandhu, and that is why he was fearful. Let us go ahead and see what happens next. 19th verse. Ramakrishna Prabhu and then Aparna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. When the son of the Brahmana, Aśvatthāmā, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmāstra, nuclear weapon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So his horses got exhausted. Arjuna kept on chasing Aśvatthāmā, and Aśvatthāma's horses became very exhausted. Now Arjuna had a celestial chariot, and his horses were given by Agni. But Aśvatthāmā did not have such wonderful horses. He had ordinary horses. So that's why they got tired soon. And he thought that very soon Arjuna is going to be catching up on me, and then he's going to kill me. So because of that fear, he thought that I have only now one choice, to use Brahmāstra to protect myself. In this verse as well, we can see that he is called Dvijatmajaha. So Dvija Atmaja, son of a Brahmana. He's not even again, he is not called a Brahmana. He just called a son of a Brahmana. It again shows to us that he was not qualified Brahmana himself. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Brahmana is not a hereditary title. That you are born in a Brahmana family, that means you are a Brahmana. No, it is Guna and Karma. It depends on Guna and Karma. Guna means you should be in mode of goodness to be a Brahmana, and Karma should be like a Brahmana. But because Aśvatthāmā was not showing Guna and Karma of a Brahmana, he just called as son of a Brahmana. And it is mentioned in the end that Aśvatthāma's decision was immature. Srila Prabhupada mentions, since Aśvatthāma's decision is immature, he is purposely called herein the son of a Brahmana. Now, a Brahmana will never think of using a Brahmāstra just to protect his life. And why he is called immature is also mentioned in the next verse. Let us read that and it will make more sense. Next verse.
Since his life was in danger, he touched water in sanctity and concentrated upon the chanting of the hymns for throwing nuclear weapons, although he did not know how to withdraw such weapons. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So do you see this? Like he did not even know to use Brahmāstra properly. He can shoot the Brahmāstra, but he can never retract it. Now, if it is not retracted, then when the two Brahmāstras they collide, it can even destroy the entire universe. So Aśvatthāmā, as a Brahmana, he should have thought that just to protect my one single life, I do not know how to retract this weapon. If I don't use it properly, then it is possible that the entire universe get destroyed. Is it worth it? Should I just, to protect myself, should I try to destroy the entire world? And the answer should have been no. But he did not think like that. He thought that, oh, protecting myself is the ultimate goal of my life. Protecting this body is the ultimate goal, and I will do whatever it takes. Even if it has to actually destroy the entire world, so be it. I don't want to get caught by Arjuna and get killed by him. So what happened after he has invoked the Brahmāstra just by chanting mantras? It is not like he has taken some arrow and then shot it. Just by chanting mantra, he has created this Brahmāstra and he has released it. 21st verse. Aparna Mataji, you can continue. Your hand is still up.
Thereupon a glaring light spread in all directions. It was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life is in danger, and so he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So a glaring light actually was spread everywhere. When this Brahmāstra was thrown by Aśvatthāmā, it was a glaring light was spread everywhere. And it was very fierce. It was not like a calming light, like a moonlight. It was like 1,000 suns. It is scorching heat actually got generated. So light was spread everywhere and it was very fierce. And Arjuna thought that now his life was in danger. So he began to address Lord Shri Krishna. Now here this is something like this verse is so wonderful. Just in the previous 1 or 2 verses, we saw that when Aśvatthāmā was fearful, what he did? He did not think about anyone else and he just shot the Brahmāstra just to protect himself. But here, Arjuna is thinking that his life is in danger. So what he did? He took shelter of the Supreme Lord. So this is the difference between a devotee and non-devotee. A devotee takes shelter of the Supreme Lord when he is in difficulty. But whereas a non-devotee, they will not think about anything. They will just try to protect their bodies with whatever means that they have. And some beautiful prayers which are coming. So we'll see these few prayers and then we will stop today. Arjuna Uvacha Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvameko Dayyamananam Apavargosi Samsmritehe. Yes, Mantra Mulam Prabhu. Translation.
Arjuna said, O my Lord Sri Krishna, you are the Almighty Personality of Godhead. There is no limit to your different energies. Therefore, only you are competent to install fearlessness in the hearts of your devotees. Everyone in the flames of material miseries can find the path of liberation in you only.
Yes, thank you, Guruji. So Arjuna is glorifying Lord Shri Krishna. Before taking his shelter, he is saying, Oh Krishna, you are almighty. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho. Mahabaho means you are almighty. and bhaktanam abhayankaraha, that you bestow fearlessness to your devotees. Because when you are present, or when the devotees have firm faith in you, they understand that Krishna is their protector. Krishna can, if he is the protector, then where is the need for you worrying about and having any fear? So he will instill fearlessness. And it is mentioned that only you can give liberation to those who are burning in the fire of material existence. Now he is actually using this fire of material existence in two ways. So of course there is a fire of material existence, which is samsara dava nalalida loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam. So samsara dava. So it is like a forest fire which is happening in this material world. But at the same time, there is also the real fire that he can see. This nuclear weapon is coming, and he doesn't know at this point that it is the Brahmāstra which is sent by Aśvatthāmā. So he's saying that this forest fire which is like that life is going on, and you can give liberation. So similarly, you can also protect me from this fire and this light that is coming. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Guru is the mercy representative of the Lord. Just like Lord is giving protection like this, so Guru is the mercy representation of the Supreme Lord. And those who are burning in the fire of material existence, so the spiritual master is a mercy representative of the Lord. Therefore, a person burning in the flames of material existence may receive the rains of mercy of the Lord through the transparent medium of the self-realized spiritual master. So that verse that we were referring to now earlier, samsara dava nalida loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam. So it is like the cloud full of rain. The spiritual master is the cloud full of rain, and they shower their mercy, and by which they remove this samsara dava which is there in our life. So they are the transparent via medium of the Supreme Lord's mercy. And that is how we can get benefited from the spiritual master getting the mercy of the Supreme Lord through the spiritual master. Okay, so that is the first prayer that he has done. Krishna Krishna Mahabaho Bhaktanam Abhayankara Tvam Eko Daihyamananam Apavargosi Samsprute. So he will give the Apavarga. So he will give the liberation. Now the next verse. Tvamadya Purusha Sakshad Ishwarah Prakrute Paraha Mayam Vyudasya Chit Shaktya Kaivalle Sthita Atmani.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
You are the original personality of Godhead who expended himself all over the creation and is transcendental to material energy. You have cast away the effects of the material energy by the dint of your spiritual potency. You are always situated in internal bliss and transcendental knowledge.
Eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. So here Arjuna is saying that, oh Lord, you are transcendental. You are the original person. You are the Adi Purusha. And you are the supreme controller. You are Ishvara. And you are transcendental to this material nature. You are out of this, like you are beyond these three modes. You are transcendental. And you are the controller of this material energy. You are the master of the spiritual energy who cast away Maya. So Krishna is like sun. Prabhupada mentions this analogy again in this purport, that Krishna is like sun and Maya is like darkness. Wherever there is light, wherever there is sun, there is no darkness. So because he's the master of both spiritual and material energy, so wherever there is Krishna, there is no Maya that can exist. And he's always situated in eternal bliss and transcendental knowledge. Kaivalye Sthita Atmani. Next verse. Sa eva jiva lokasya maya mohita chetasaha vidhatse svena viryena shreyo dharmadi lakshanam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And yet, though you are beyond the purview of the material energy, you execute the four principles of liberation characterized by religion and so on for the ultimate good of the conditioned souls. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. So you are so merciful that although you are beyond Maya, you are out of these three modes, you are in the spiritual world, but out of your mercy, you descend on this material, in the material world, and you execute dharma, artha, kama, moksha for the good of the conditioned people. So the Lord descends to this material world out of his mercy, and to set an example in front of everyone, he also appears to do all his material duties, so that other people can also take inspiration from him, like accepting a spiritual master and then learning from them, also looking after everything, like all these pastimes that we see of Lord Shri Krishna. He doesn't have to do anything, but he still does all of that so that he can set a good example for the people in general, so that they can take at least the process of varnashrama, get purified, and also go towards Lord in bhakti. So to inspire them, the Lord comes out of his mercy. Next verse, 25. तथायं चावतारस्ते भुवो भारजिहीर्षया स्वानां चानन्यभावानाम् अनुध्यानाय चास्कृता.
Prabhu, can I read?
Surananda Prabhu, you can do, and Ashoka Mataji, you can do the next one.
Thus you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world and to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees and are wrapped in meditation upon you.
So his reason for his descent is mentioned here. So just like in Bhagavad Gita, he said, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he is mentioning the same thing here. So Arjuna is saying that you descend as an incarnation to remove the burden of the world. So that is vinashaya cha dushkrita. And paritranaya sadhuna means to benefit your friends, especially those who are your exclusive devotees. So for these purposes that you mainly come, and out of that as well, the main purpose is to have this, to benefit his friends, to reciprocate with his exclusive devotees, Ananya Bhaktas. So that is the main reason why the Lord appears. Verse number 26. Kimidam switkuto veti devadevana vedyamaham sarvato mukhamayati teja paramadarunam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. O Lord of Lords, how is it that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around? Where does it come from? I do not understand it. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So now is the main question that he wanted to ask, he has asked. Where is this dangerous effulgence coming from? So this is the main question he wanted to ask. But he has spoken those few verses, 4 verses before, 22 to 25, to Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be so done after due presentation of respectful prayers. So we should not be just going in front of the Lord and say that, oh Lord, what is this effulgence? No, Srila Prabhupada is saying we can do this after our respectful prayers. So that is what Arjuna is setting a good example in front of us. That he said that, oh Lord, you are the ultimate shelter, you are transcendental to the three modes, you are very merciful, you descend to this material world for helping all of us, especially for your devotees that you come. So now I am your devotee. So please tell me, what is this? Where is this effulgence coming from? So this is the main question that he has asked. So we know in the past we have discussed that how the prayer should be done. So even if we have some spiritual desires from the Supreme Lord, we should actually do a Samprarthanatmika prayer, glorifying the Supreme Lord, Dainya Bodhika prayer, explaining our fallen condition, and then we can actually explain our lalasa. So that is what is we can see from this section of the prayer. And now from 27th onwards, the Lord is going to speak, but we will pause here for today, and then we will take the remaining section of this chapter in the next week session. Now, next few weeks are going to be various different festivals which are coming. So let us see. I can actually keep you informed on the group that when we are doing the session and when we are not. Hopefully, I am thinking that we will be able to do next week and complete this chapter, but I'll keep you posted. Fine. We will take a few questions today, and remaining questions or comments you can post on the group. You can send me messages privately as well and as a recorded message, and I'll respond to you if your questions are not answered. Okay, let us go ahead. Adidevi Mataji, you have some question or comment?
Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I have a comment. This is in relation to something I read online by Mother Urmila for His Grace Ambarish Prabhu, who was ailing from stroke. So for those of you who don't know Ambarish Prabhu, he is Alfred Ford, the grandson of Henry Ford and the CEO of the Ford Motor Companies, who is actively involved in the Hare Krishna movement, and he's involved in the Temple of Vedic Planetarium in
What did she say, Mataji?
So she came across she brought to light a prayer which I would like to share with you all. This is a prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev, and it's goes like Vidikshu Dikshurdam Ada Samantat Antar Bahir Bhagwan Narsimha Prapaya Lokadayam Swanena Swatejasa Grasta Samaska Tejaha. And the translation of this is Prahlad Maharaj loudly chanted the holy name of Lord Nrsimha. May Lord Nrsimhadev, roaring for his devotee Prahlad Maharaj, protect us from all fear of dangers created by poison, weapons, water, fire, air, and so on. May the Lord cover their influence by his own transcendental influence. May Nrsimhadev protect us from all directions and in all areas, above, beyond, within, and without. This is extracted from Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 8, text 35. And
Yeah, very wonderful prayer. Very
yes.
wonderful prayer by Mother Urmila. Urmila Mataji was here a few days ago, and I'm sure every one of you know about Ambarish Prabhu. As Mataji mentioned, like all over the world, there were so many prayers which were done. We also did a kirtan for Prabhu at our home as part of our home program that we do weekly. So we hope and pray that he feels better very soon. His health is improving, and we hope and pray that he is again healthy fully, and he can keep serving Srila Prabhupada's movement again and again, and for many years to come. Okay, Pamendra Prabhu, are there any other
One
comments?
question before I close off. Brahmavadis is Mayavadis, right? When you meant Brahmavadis?
There are two kinds of Brahmavadis, or the impersonalists are two types. One is Brahmavadi, and the second one are Mayavadis. They are not exactly same. They have common understanding, but there are differences as well. Brahmavadis thinks that the Brahman is the supreme,
Okay.
but they are not thinking that when the Lord comes down, then he is entangled in Maya. But whereas Mayavadis think like that. So that is why Brahmavadis are able to get liberated and go into Brahman, but Mayavadis don't. Mayavadis remain in this material world. So that's the main difference.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pamendra Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. Need to just sharing two realization. First one is like one of the bits that you covered in your past lecture as well, Nitya Krishna Katha. So glories of the Lord needs to be sung regularly. That's what Bhagavatam is all about. Like even it's suitable for every person, even if he's translisted or is like a rasta or whatever form of life is. And then second realization is just being born into a community doesn't make you member of that community unless and until like you follow principles of that community. So you gave the example of Aśvatthāmā in there, that he was neither Brahmana nor a Kshatriya.
Yes.
And last,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, is when an ordinary person get threatened, they try to save and rely on whatever means available to them to save themselves. But when a pure devotee is threatened, he always approaches the Lord.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very important points here raised. Thank you, Prabhuji. Bharadwaj Rishi Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in verse 10, 1:7:10, Sutta Goswami, when he actually narrated, when he recited
I
the
hardly can hear.
Okay, sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. Trying to make it fast. It's getting delayed. Prabhuji, in verse 10, are you able to hear me, Prabhuji?
Okay, you can continue, Prabhu. I can make out what you're saying.
In verse 10, Prabhuji, Sutta Goswami actually was talking about, I mean, when Sutta Goswami said that verse, actually he had one meaning in his mind. But then, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and, other senior devotees, when they actually derive different meanings out of it, with no disrespect, Prabhuji, but just wanted to understand, wouldn't that be mental speculation? Like, okay, deriving different meanings, whereas, when the original speaker had one meaning in mind.
Yeah, how do we know that original speaker only had one meaning in the mind? So that is one of the important things that we should understand. So one important thing about the pure devotees is that they are in the same wavelength as the speaker of the Bhagavatam. Speaker of the Bhagavatam here, like Vyasadeva or Shukadeva Goswami or even here Sutta Goswami, they are all pure devotees. And of course, Vyasadeva is Shakti Avesha Avatar. But I'm just in generalizing that they are pure devotees. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is also the Supreme Lord, and talking to a pure devotee Sanatana Goswami, or even Acharyas who are sometimes giving different meanings, they are also pure devotees. So they are at a same wavelength. So they understand what different meanings that the devotee who is speaking may have in their mind.
Okay.
So they can actually do that because those words are not coming from a conditional state of mind. So
Right.
our is not conditional, conditioned state of mind. So because we are conditioned, we cannot actually derive different meanings, because if we try to do that, then that is a mental speculation. The mental speculation comes from the three modes of material nature.
Right.
Those who are beyond the three modes of material nature, the meaning of the words that they are giving is their realized knowledge. That cannot be categorized into the mental speculation part.
Okay.
And also, they are not deviating from the original purpose of the essence of the scriptures. So when they actually give some completely different meaning, then we will have that problem. But otherwise, even if there are different meanings that they are giving to us, they are still remaining in the on that like thought process or this or the theme. For
Right.
example, the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given 5 different meanings for that. But if you see, all of those 5 meanings are aligned with the entire the thought process of bhakti, Srimad Bhagavatam, like that Krishna is the Supreme Personality. So mainly the essence of the scriptures is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are his part and parcel, and we have to serve the Supreme Lord through the process of bhakti in loving devotional service.
Right.
So as long as it is not deviating from that essential truth, then these various different meanings are the correct meanings.
Good. Thank you, Prabhuji. That clarifies. Yes. Thank you.
Aparna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, wonderful lecture. I had 3 questions, but in the interest of time, I will ask the one which is important to me, and I really need to understand. So, Prabhuji, in previous verses, we got to see that when Aśvatthāmā killed the 5 sons of Draupadi and brought the heads to Duryodhana, he was not happy at all, and he considered that as a heinous act. Now, the question is, the same Duryodhana, when they were in the battlefield, he killed the armless Abhimanyu, son of Arjuna, they killed very mercilessly. Like all of them, they attacked him in the same time when he had no weapon in his hand. So how did Duryodhana transform during this period of time after being injured, having broken his spine? Did he get transformed and became more like a Kshatriya-like, or so? What is the reconciliation here? Reconciliation here.
Good question, Mataji. He hasn't transformed, but even the bad person in Vedic times had their morality. Like they had their bottom line. Even Kshatriyas who were not good, and Duryodhana, for example, he was in our story here, he's a villain. But those villains in Mahabharata also have some morality and also have some their bottom line, that what they can and what they cannot do. So in Abhimanyu, when they were fighting, they actually broke two rules of the war. One rule was that when one Maharathi is fighting another Maharathi, like it should be just 1-to-1 battle. It is not that we should group 5 or 6 warriors can group and then try to kill one. So that was the rule that they had set. So they broke that. Plus, when he was without weapon, still they killed him. So, but here it is completely even further downgrade of the rules. They were not even on the battlefield. So these 5 sons were not even on the battlefield. They are just sleeping in their tent peacefully. Okay, if they were not on the battlefield, they were sleeping. Were they woken up and then they were said that okay, let us fight and then we will do? No, that was also not done. During the sleep itself, they were killed. And Duryodhana could not tolerate that. That how can you actually do such a heinous act? So for him as well. So Duryodhana, who is like a villain, he is also thinking that, oh, this activity is such a heinous activity. So you can understand where it stands, like that particular activity, where it stands. So overall, from our perspective, that we are saying that, okay, if your bar is here, then even Duryodhana's activity is heinous. But even for Duryodhana, this Aśvatthāma's activity is heinous. That means you can understand that how heinous it is.
Like super
Even
heinous.
from their morality's perspective.
Sure. That makes sense, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
We'll take the
Krishna.
last point from Rajiv Prabhu and then we'll finish.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I've just got a key learning from today's session, which is it's more the application that's important than just listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's my key takeaway for today. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So listening to Srimad Bhagavatam is very important because without listening, we cannot implement it. But if we just stop at just hearing, then it will not have the transformative effect that we want to have. So we have to hear, yasya vai shruyamanayam, but also we have to do the bhakti to the Supreme Lord. So then that implementation happens. And then we will get the full effect of hearing and implementing Srimad Bhagavatam in our life. Okay, we will stop here today. And then we will continue on the 7th chapter next week. Srimad
Hare Krishna,
Bhagavatam ki
Prabhuji.
jai.